Explain
to me.
She gets more money doing that than she does mitigating.
Okay,
Maybe it doesn't mean she's not good at mitigating.
Hold up.
It just means she's better at that.
That means she sucked.
That just means she's better at that.
No.
She's better at that.
How about old girl is right? She want more attention.
Yeah, well, she was. That's my whole point. That's what I was.
No, you ain't said shit.
That's what I was talking about the whole time.
All you've been doing is what? Look, yo. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying there?
That's what you got from
that. Why you take your headset off?
Because
why you take your headset?
I can't believe that's all you got from that.
That's what you were saying.
You're looking for attention.
Right, exactly.
This is what I wanted you to hear.
So we agree.
I set that up.
So we agree.
Huh?
So we agree.
And you missed that shit.
I did not miss it.
Why every time I throw you an alley-oop, your motherfucking ass missed the layup?
What the fuck are you, Chris Paul now? What the fuck you... fuck you throw me alley-oops for and whatnot. If you making a point, make the point.
You would look at the lawyer. My question leads to, you would look at the lawyer first because she's not the normal person that would be on OnlyFans.
You know what? I think you would have to be in that world or whatever in order for you to say that I know that this is this type of chick that's doing an OnlyFans, and I know that this chick right here is not normally a OnlyFans type of person because she's a lawyer.
Get it all out.
I'm just saying, you make it sound like the average dude would get on there and be like this, oh, yo, she's a lawyer. I got to go see her first because...
You said it for me. I don't even have to say it no more because that's exactly what the fuck they would do.
I'm not agreeing.
That's exactly what the fuck they would do.
I'm not agreeing to that shit.
Why is a lawyer on OnlyFans?
I'm not agreeing to that shit. That's what I'm talking about. Why you slamming your headset down and like sustain and,
a lawyer
and all that.
A person wants to see.
I'm not saying
why is a lawyer on OnlyFans? 1, 2, and she thinks she can get on OnlyFans, she got to be bad as motherfucking hell.
Oh, so that's your way of thinking. She got to be bad as shit.
No, that's normal way of thinking.
What do you mean normal way of thinking?
Welcome back, ladies and gents.
Good people.
Now we're getting ready to get into...
Whoa. We're doing the introduction to the podcast.
Oh, I don't do that. That's your
I know. That's what I was getting ready to do.
Oh.
5.
That.
When you saw me go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good people. Once again, we're back in black. It's me, Steve-O, and my brother from another mother.
Siege.
My man. We're here doing another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Game.
The Game.
My man. What do you want to talk about today, bro?
Man, we're going to get into this sexism.
Ooh.
And more specifically,
strong word.
Women experience more sexism than men.
I agree with that. I
agree with that too, but that's one hell of a discussion.
Well,
let's get into it.
Well, let's check out and see what once again, let's check out Middle Ground, see what them guys got to say about the whole deal. Jubilee doing their thing. I'm gonna tell you guys, you really got to check these dudes out. Like I said, I'm not getting no kind of endorsement feed or nothing like that, but he's the plug champion. I'm just saying, you got to check these cats out, yo.
No, they are good.
And you listen to people as far as what they do and the reason why they do certain things or just the way they think sometimes.
And for the record, if I click on anything on Jubilee, once I start watching it, I can't stop.
Yeah, it's a little different.
So enticing.
Right. The stuff that they talk about. Now, don't get me wrong, you're probably going to hate some people because of the way they think, but that's America, baby. That's America. That's what we do.
Facts.
So let's go ahead and check this out.
Mm-hmm. Women experience more sexism than men. If you agree, please step forward.
Now, I don't know about like more, but I'm coming at this from like the point of view of like what's more dangerous.
Exactly.
Like misandry, men's feelings get hurt, but when it comes to misogyny and like sexism, women get hurt, killed. So when I think of more, I'm not thinking like, oh, they face more sexism. Like, is the sexism like hurting you?
No, the same way. I was looking at it, when I heard sexism, I just heard safety.
Yeah.
That was the way I was approaching it. The topic was basically men experience sexism. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I think the topic was just more sexism, like you said, you know, just simple things, just as like a man maybe just 10 feet behind you at night, you know? There are certain thoughts that just run into your head.
That's not
just
sexism.
simple ideas such as being treated differently in the entertainment industry versus how as a man. When I hear sexism, again, like you said, I view it more as just danger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for men, me facing sexism, like you said, my feelings might get hurt, but I'm not gonna feel for my life. You know what I mean? As opposed to women, I think they genuinely do fear for their lives more, and I think we should work towards making a safe society for everybody.
Right.
And I think that that's ultimately, you know, what's important.
To his credit, sexism isn't
Yeah, I mean, I think
limited to
when
danger.
most people in power are men, and then they can abuse that power by, like, the common joke of, oh, she slept her way to the top. Like, that wouldn't be such a common joke if it weren't for women being sexualized and experiencing sexism. So common that it's just a regular joke that we all just accept and just go with, ah, ha, 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 she slept her way to the top. Like, it's funny. Like, it's clear that since men have so much power, and not only that, but men are bigger than us. So if they want something from us at any point, they could just take it. They can, and a lot of times they do. And you just have to sit there and take it.
Men are.
So she's blaming
I feel like a lot
women
of the sexism
sleeping
that
to the
men face
top
that really
on men.
impacts them is from other men.
Right.
Men make fun of each other for like
That's not
getting
true.
assaulted.
Facts.
Men make fun of each other for like not getting the girl. Men like these are things that if men really wanted, if these men's right activists really wanted to change this notion, they would be treating their fellow man better.
No, I mean,
But they're ridiculing them for not being masculine enough.
100%. Sorry. Just I was going to say, just I agree with everything you're saying. Like you said earlier, men shoot themselves in the foot,
Yes.
and I believe someone said earlier that men, when they talk about the loneliness epidemic, it's only about ever getting the girl, but it's never
Exactly.
about friends.
About camaraderie with fellow.
Exactly. No, yeah. What
Nigga,
is it,
you
like,
on the
one of
wrong
things that I
side.
think that
Sound like some bitch
you
shit
really
to
touched
me.
on earlier. Men
Bitch
shoot
shit
themselves in
for
the foot
real.
often. There's just this idea that it's the same way you see poor people attacking other poor people because they're not getting paid enough. Men will attack other men because it threatens their masculinity or because they're insecure in it. When again, I mean, I'm just not like a broken record player here. It's not a real concept.
It ain't.
Masculinity is not a real concept.
It
Femininity
ain't.
is not a real concept. These are just things
Bullshit.
that just hold us back. And like you said, it halts us from really truly like feeling heard, getting our feelings out there and like experiencing more empathy. We need to, again, destroy the system, destroy the patriarchy, and come up with a system that has empathy for everybody, because it
He's
just doesn't.
saying
I
that
think
there's
what's
no
important to
difference in
recognize is that
feminism and
misandry is not a
masculism.
systemic issue.
because-
It's not ingrained in us.
That's 'cause he
And
wants
he's
to-
on the
There is,
wrong
like,
fucking
rhetorical
side.
misandry of
That's
like
'cause he
women
wanna
saying,
be
"I hate all
genderless."
men," You know, it's just like individualized.
understand that
yeah, sure,
part.
unhelpful things, but it's not an otherization in the same way
Yes.
that misogyny is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think that the world has been largely constructed through the male and man lens, and in a way that has otherized women, and so. Yeah, misogyny is more endemic to gender relations rather than misandry being sort of like individual outbursts of reacting to that system.
No, exactly. 100% agree.
Okay, and we're going to bring in our disagreeers, but I do want to say some of the things that you were saying you hear from men's rights activists. I agree, I've heard that online. I haven't heard that from these people in this
So
discussion.
you got to talk
yet.
about what
I think it's just
context.
worth clarifying. Let's
All
bring
right?
in our
You
disagreeers.
got to talk about what context you're talking about sexism in.
Yeah, go
You
for
know,
it.
Okay, so I would disagree that you say misandry is not systemic. Cultural misandry is evident in a lot of the laws that neglect men. Misandry is why homeless men don't have as many shelters. It's why we don't take male victims of domestic violence as seriously. It's why men's health care is underfunded. And there's a psychological phenomenon called the women are wonderful effect, where society and people have less empathy for men in a general sense. Now, there may be some nuance there, as there could be some negative consequences for women, but overall, we see social welfare programs and laws mostly disfavor men. And even if it's a male politician who supports that law, he's still catering to his voters. And the fact that a male politician makes a decision doesn't resurrect the 19-year-old draftee who was killed in battle. So when you say that misandry isn't a thing, I completely disagree. It's almost become fashionable. Misandry is almost a fashionable trait among the left. And I'm not a right-winger, but I almost feel pushed this way because when I try and talk about men's issues, I get some very sharp reactions from the left.
So I just want to respond to that just because it was specifically directed at me. In terms of misandry not being systemic, I agree that those issues exist, but a lot of what you're referring to is just the relationship between men having disadvantages due to like socioeconomic status and comparing that to benevolent misogyny, which does actually otherize women and is a form of dehumanization that they should be specially cared for and specially undertaken. There was a study out of the University of Chicago in 2005 that found that when you actually diversify the amount of judges in a court, sex-based discrimination lessens. So the reason why misandry isn't systemic is because we don't live in whatever the opposite of we don't live in a matriarchy, right? So men do things that, of course, disadvantage other men, but it's not because they're men. They're not being discriminated because it's due to them being like poor or whatever other sort of specific situation that they're in.
And I just want to add that like the reason there are women-only spaces or women-only shelters is because men are the perpetrators of most of the crime. Now they are also the victims of a lot of the crime, which is why I didn't agree with the prompt, because I think it is that sexism. Like they did touch on it and he did touch on it, that like, oh, men are supposed to never back down from a fight. I even hear things like, oh, if men should have to know how to fight. Men should have to be aggressive. And, you know, so these women-only spaces is because women, most of the crime that's done on women is from men. So it's a safer place for women when there are no men around, especially when women that are homeless or at the bottom ranks of society.
Well, I don't disagree that we need a woman.
But a woman that
I'm
looks
saying
like
there
you
is a lack of
want men
space
around.
available. So there are homeless men and abused men who don't have spaces available. We are not against women's spaces. We're just saying there is a greater need for men's spaces than currently exist.
You guys are referring to violence like it belongs to men.
Most of, especially serious violence. Like most of the women that are getting killed in domestic violence, yes, they are.
Women are 1 out of 3 women in the U.S. were victim of domestic violence.
Do you have an experience to pull from that you want to share?
I've been hit by women before.
I've been stabbed.
Like I've been hit multiple times by women. Yet I'm a 225-pound guy of muscle and I have 20 years of experience. You know what I did? Nothing. I just took it. But if I were to go to the police, you know who they would remove from the house? Me. My ex-wife, when I was going through a divorce, told me that she'd lied to the police in order to file the divorce faster because it was taking too much time. Because where I'm from in Canada, it's 1 year. Like they will tell you that you need to be separated for a year so you have a chance to rekindle. But all I'm saying is violence is violence, no matter. I'm not saying that men are not violent. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I've seen women as violent. It's just that it is not regarded in the same way, just as you mentioned.
No, but
men are not taken seriously either. And the point I wanted to bring is to what you said, because you mentioned that earlier, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were saying that men are not encouraged to speak about their feelings.
I would say largely that's true, yeah.
Yet you're bringing them down in your conversation. You're saying that being sexist towards a man is not as big of a deal as being towards a woman. So on one point, you're saying that men should be able to show their emotions, to live their emotions, however term you want to use. But in the next sentence, you're saying that the emotion of a man don't matter as much.
No, their emotions certainly matter. And I think that you can express like disagreement or even sadness if somebody's being quote unquote misandric. I'm just saying it's not systemic. And that's a matter of fact. I'm saying in the descriptive reality of what misandry is versus what misogyny is, it's not actually systemic.
Just
right? So I'm
now,
having a
systemic.
factual disagreement with what men, quote unquote, are expressing their feelings, which I don't think the majority of men or even a plurality of men are expressing those sorts of feelings, that misandry is like some big burden on them.
Why are more laws against men, though? I mean, there's more laws in the U.S. that are disfavored to men than women. Why is that?
Like which laws? Like
Facts.
the inconsequential draft?
No.
Like what laws?
Access to certain healthcare programs. Prostate cancer, the biggest killer of non-smoking men, is not covered under the ACA.
Okay, women in like half the country don't even have a right to like bodily autonomy, don't have access to effective contraception. You're comparing amount of rights.
You compared them. Wait, you compared those two
No,
issues.
you literally just said men don't have more rights than women. You said that men have less rights. And when I asked you for an example,
there's no women's cancer.
Oh, you said access. You said access to spaces.
Certain welfare programs.
Well,
yes.
No, so men don't have access to male-only spaces, but men do have access to, and I do believe in a strong social safety net. But but there's not male exclusive spaces because there's not gendered violence of women against men to the same degree that there is in their.
That is just not true. That is so false.
In terms of legitimate safety, in terms of like risk of injury, risk of death.
1 out of 3 will face domestic violence. 1 out of 4 men face the same violence. The point is that we don't report it.
What do you mean by same violence?
Why does it matter if it's the same or not?
But are you against male-only spaces existing in the first place?
Not necessarily, but I don't think that it's some like widespread systemic issue or that it's the issue that men like necessarily needed. Or I think that if you had co-ed spaces, I don't see why a co-ed space would be detrimental to men. Whereas I do see co-ed spaces can being detrimental to women and the need for women-only spaces.
But do you think that male victims face certain stigmas and stereotypes?
I do believe that we need to destigmatize the way that men experience victimhood. A lot of men believe that it's demasculating to ask for help, and that is something that, as a feminist, I push up against. I also think it's wrong to consider a man less of a man based on like how much he earns. I do believe that we should encourage men to like share their feelings.
What I find ironic in your statements is that you're literally saying that men's feelings don't matter as much.
No, what?
You were talking about sexism earlier. This is literally what you said.
I'm just giving you a descriptive reality of why male-only spaces don't exist. I don't think that it would be like the most intrinsic evil in the world if a male-only space existed, but it's not a like necessary part of the way that sexual or gender-based violence is experienced by men.
He is saying that.
Since I have been a kid, it has been common in the media.
He's putting it down
to
like,
men as trash,
hey, we
to
putting
say
this
that
down
men
here.
are the problem, men are
When it come
terrible,
down to men.
et cetera, to the point that on national TV, a guy got his chopped off, and they were laughing about it. And nobody said anything, and nobody cared.
Right.
And
everybody
if the
was
reverse
wilding on
happened,
that, like,
I don't
yo,
think it would be the
chick
same
did that
outrage.
shit.
Throw it in the woods.
Does anyone on this side want to? Do you see that
I agree
happening?
that should be an outrage, and the reason why it isn't is because it's considered demasculating for men to be victims, and I think that in order to dismantle that, we should dismantle unhealthy views about masculinity, which is exactly what feminists are trying to do.
I think if you guys did a good job at that, it's been 100 years since feminism started, you'd maybe have some progress. I don't think feminists care about men at all. They just want to give women special privileges and treatment.
They're basically saying
I'm
that
with her.
men should be taken serious
I'm
and
with her.
violence should be taken serious. But you're
Me
not
too.
understanding
I've always
that
been with her.
when you talk about women being violent, you're talking about it from a patriarchal standpoint.
Who says though?
It's because patriarchy weaponizes men to be more violent. Women are seen as not culpable for their violence. It strips them of their agency and infantilizes them for when they do commit violence. And you guys are upholding that system by not joining us.
Hang on, feminists support gendered laws on domestic violence. In the UK in 2020, feminists actually protested against the domestic abuse bill because they didn't like the fact that it was gender neutral. The Duluth model in the US, feminists protest the fact that it's gender neutral. So it's feminists who want to perpetuate these gender roles by saying laws
Tell
should be
'em, my
gendered
man.
and recognize gender into the factor. So it's not MRAs who perpetuate it. We want gender neutral laws.
That's a lot to
There may
unpack.
be
It's
differences in gender.
a
Sure.
lot
You
to
heard what he
unpack.
said. He pointed at the
Feminists are
men,
ones who
man.
support
He's on
laws
some
that are
bullshit.
by and large
with
gendered
his
and
beta
inherently by
ass.
default treat men and women differently.
I'm just very confused how you're calling out feminists for like having these crazy views.
When you hear what he's saying, though, that he perceives feminists as advocating for gendered laws.
Some feminists.
What's your reaction to that?
Feminism is not a monolith.
Yeah.
As a mother, I'm a mother. I have 3 daughters and I have a son. So when I
getting
look
ready
at the
to
world,
rip
I'm
her.
looking at the world for how
Watch
will
what your
all
girls
of my
say
kids
right
fare
now.
well in this world. I don't want anything that's gendered in one way or another. But when we're talking about like this male spaces thing, whenever men enter a space, it becomes their space. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're louder. And a lot of times when women feel uncomfortable, we'll just excuse our way out and it's just naturally become a male-only space. That's why most shelters mostly have men.
what
Homeless shelters,
context
like
is she
in Denver
actually
where I
talking
live,
from?
all the homeless shelters are
Sound
mostly
like
men.
she's just
That's
winging
why
it.
there are specific women's shelters, because if a woman goes into that shelter, when the lights go
swear
out,
it's coming off
who
the
knows
top.
what's going to happen to that one little woman in this shelter with all these men? And speaking of this,
But I-
the domestic violence shelter for men,
I
the one
understand
guy
that
that
part,
did try to
but
start
that's
a
not
domestic
making a
violence
I'm not
shelter
talking
for
about
men,
her.
and he was
I'm
like a
talking
big
about-
men's
No, I'm
rights
talking-
activist,
Blondie
but
gets
in
her.
the true
No,
sense,
I'm
wanting
talking about
men to
her
have
'cause
what
she's
you want,
speaking
like
right now.
Fucking
domestic
up.
violence resources for
She's
just for them.
biased as
He
a
got
motherfucker.
so laughed left out of the world. The dude ended up unaliving himself.
Earl Silverman?
Yeah.
He was laughed at by feminists. He was harassed by
He
feminists.
was laughed at by men too.
And men.
Not MRAs.
It was the
not by MRAs.
So you basically want to excuse all, like, just shed yourself of all the misdeeds of your movement. Is that what you're trying to do?
The men's movement did not demonize Earl Silverman. It was not MRAs who demonized Earl Silverman.
It was
us.
men. It was
us.
toxic
That's what you're
men.
saying.
It was feminists, and the same thing with Erin Pizzi, who I've interviewed, by the way.
Her too.
Feminists demonized Erin Pizzi and Earl Silverman, not MRAs. We did not demonize either of those people.
But toxic
We're not
men
trying to
did.
say that we feminists,
men did.
we're trying to say that the patriarchal viewpoint that men, like laughing at men, oh, look at him trying to get resources.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
So
I do
why-
not subscribe to that, but that's the patriarchy talking, not feminism.
Show me those men, because I'm around men all the time. And I'm from veterans that suffer from PTSD to just regular dudes.
I'll tell you
I
what
have
societal sources you keep talking
I have never seen personally,
Tell 'em, my
you're
brother.
asking for personal experience. I've spoken to hundreds, if not thousands, of those men. And I've never seen a guy tell another guy, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't behave that way. Because you know what? When we're with each other, guys can just be guys. But still,
Okay, let me tell you my experience then. I have seen that many times. I've seen men laugh at each other for like, oh, my girlfriend hit me. You should have been a man. You should have
Beta men.
hugged it out.
Same here.
That happens all the time.
But do
Beta
you
men.
understand that maybe the guys
Motherfuckers
you hang out
like
with are
you.
the guys that they're so-called toxic? Because the masculine men that I'm talking about would never do that.
Okay, that's you, and there's me.
But
Personal experiences, right?
But we agree that men should not treat each other that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey there.
Hold up. We got to unpack. It's a lot to unpack. All right, when it comes down to just this one topic, because they tend to go off into different aspects.
Old girl said something that deaded all of this, but we didn't get
No.
to it yet.
You got. They said a lot. They said a
talking
lot.
about
I
old
know.
girl
I
in
know.
the blue
You
dress.
talking about what she's gonna say in order to come back on that. Understood. But there's still a whole lot that needs to be unpacked here, because they said a lot. And again, I'm talking about in which context are you using it for?
See, they flooded with a whole bunch of different things without a rebuttal.
Right. They had different
and then
contexts.
old girl's gonna give a rebuttal that they not gonna like.
I know, because you really want that part to be heard. I understand that. But what I'm
But
saying
you
is,
really want your part to be heard.
no.
and I
What
understand
I'm
that too.
saying, what I'm saying is that there is a lot to unpack, because they went into context, different contexts, talking about the same topic. You know what I'm saying? It's like me talking about IT, but while we're talking about IT, I'm talking about VTC, I'm talking about networking, I'm talking about infrastructure, I'm talking about desktop, I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Deviating from the situation at hand.
It's still under IT. It's
but
still under IT, but
deviating from the
it's still
specific
under different context.
situation at hand.
So it's like, how do you address the whole? We're
You
talking
don't.
about the whole thing we're talking
You
about
take
the
it
main
back to
thing.
where it started.
So are you addressing each
You
context?
don't have to.
But that's what they're doing. They're talking. They're
They
coming out of
are
different,
because they're trying to deflect.
the one. Hold up.
They're deflecting.
The one lady that was sitting there talking. The lawyer.
She's deflecting.
She talked about
The lawyer.
She talked
fuck
about
the lawyer.
her stance.
She got
her
her
stance-
OnlyFans.
Hold
You
up,
can't take her for fucking serious.
Hold up, we listening to this shit. Yo, her stance was like, you can't have, in rebuttal to why men don't have the services, her rebuttal is like, yo, women have those services because men are the ones that's committing these violent acts towards the women. And can you imagine if they would had that co-ed, we wouldn't know what would happen to them. I agree with her. I agree with her on that part. All right. That I think they should be separate. I don't think that the men and the women should coexist when it comes down to shelters and stuff like that. Because it's already been proven that things happen. People get raped, all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with her on that part.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I agree, that I disagree that women's sexual capital gives them an advantage over. Oh, that's a different joke. Okay, well, what was the first one we were talking about? Sexism. Sexism.
God.
I agree that women experience more sexism than men. I do agree to that. All right.
Question.
Okay.
But they went off on a tangent, man. They started talking about
Because
all
they
this
was
other
talking about
shit.
other stuff, but that's under like the umbrella.
So what you need to do is regress back to the situation at hand and speak about that. Because that one lady.
Yeah, we go back to that lady again, huh?
The lady in the red was talking all that bullshit, and the lady in the blue rebukes her somewhere along the line.
But the people that are listening to us right now have not experienced.
She's throwing out stuff, and she's not giving factual information. She's giving information off the top of her head.
Right. She's giving up some scoring stuff, which you've learned.
Exactly.
Which you've learned by watching the program.
I watched this shit like 3 times.
Right.
Yesterday.
Exactly. So the people, our people that are listening to our podcast have not seen this. All right.
And
so
your point is what?
What I'm saying is
they heard what she said.
What I'm saying is that,
and it's only fair that they hear what she said.
Yeah, they're gonna hear what she says, right? But what I'm saying is that you got to take it. They have to listen to it just like you did, watch it just like you did, in order to come up with their own opinion about it, right? So I don't want to jump into that, and I don't want to jump into it and say like, "Hey, yo, she's like this." I already know, me personally, the chick that was talking all that junk, that talked about men take over the room and all this stuff, and I was like, the women, they joke around about women sleeping their way to the top, and I was like,
there's some
if they slept their way to the top, they slept their way to the top, but that don't mean that they're never going to agree to it. They're never going to come right down and say, "Yo, I slept my way to the top."
There's a touch of validity to what she's saying. But
hold up.
Context comes from the whole picture.
On that one part.
Just a touch.
There's
because she gets into it.
What part?
No, you know how she talks about how men do this and men do that.
Right. Okay.
And it's just, it's blanket
like a man, right?
It's
a man comes
statements.
into the room,
and this girl kind of rebukes her statements because
we haven't gotten there yet. We haven't gotten there yet. Bro. But what I'm saying is that the point that she's saying, you already seen it.
Yeah.
They haven't seen it. She says when a man comes into the room, he basically takes over the room. Right? That's what she's saying.
Facts.
Okay? She's saying, and then they joke around and they talk about like it's a joke. Women slept their way to the top. Ha 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 he. But she tried to put it back on the man, like he's bigger, he's stronger, he's gonna do what he wanna do. He's gonna take it if he want to, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. How is that her sleeping her way to the top? How was that sleeping her way to the top? I was like, I think you're using it a little bit out of context when you say that, because if she's sleeping her way to the top, she's using her femininity, and she's using her sex, and she's going ahead and she's making her way to the top, which a lot of women ain't gonna admit that. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna come right out and say, "Yo, I slept my way to the top. That's why I'm here." You know what I'm saying? But
nobody's gonna admit that,
right?
But everybody knows.
But she's trying to put it. Oh, the reason she slept her way to the top is because some man took advantage of her.
Exactly.
And did that kind of shit.
Now we on the same page.
Well, that's what I was saying the whole time.
It took you 30 minutes to get to the fucking
I don't know,
5-minute point.
No, you know why? Because you know what the one in the, what's that, purple or blue that she wearing? Just purple?
Blue, I think it is.
You know what she's going to say. You know what she's going to say. And you can't wait for her to say what she's going to say because you've seen it already.
Because I don't like to see some shit half-assed.
Well, hey, let them decide when they see it. But I'm looking at her, and I'm just taking that one point that she said, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. How you going to blame a guy because he's joking about her sleeping her way to the top? Most of the time when men joke about a woman sleeping her way to the top, it's because she didn't sleep with their ass.
Wait.
Period.
She don't even have
kids. She didn't sleep with...
this one has kids.
Yeah, she got kids.
She should shut the fuck up, really.
Why? She's on the panel. Let her have her opinion.
Because she slept her way to the top.
Yo, she can have her opinion. I don't have to necessarily agree with it.
Her kids don't need to know that.
She didn't sleep her way to the top.
I know, man. I know.
Anyway, Ray, let's go ahead and let's check out some more of this stuff right here.
Sexual capital gives them an advantage over men. If you agree, please step forward.
Whoa.
He's right. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
So I would say that women's sexual capital allows them more opportunities. Okay. Some could say maybe they're bad, like in terms of sex work, right? But women make much more in sex work. Also, I've managed both male and female on social media. It's a lot easier to blow up as a chick. So it gives you more opportunity.
That's the facts. That's the facts.
Why my page is the way it is?
It's easier for
That's the
women
facts.
to blow up the media.
And you know he
because
will.
it's looks based. So
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Any
Men love pretty women. It's really that simple. And as you said, like,
Come on, man.
actresses too. Sorry.
Say it
OnlyFans would be the
again if
perfect
you can.
example. That
Nico.
really does not normally work for men, but it works for women extremely well. And
Medical sales, it's another one.
I worked in sales as a sales engineer.
Yeah.
I worked in sales for more than a decade, and women tend to do better. I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing either, because why not take advantage of
The best
the
sales
traits, the qualities
possibilities.
that you were born with? Everybody likes to look at, and I don't think it matters that it's a guy looking at a woman or a woman looking at a guy. They like to look at somebody that looks good, but it does tend to influence men's decision a lot more than it does women.
It's all my shit right there.
Do you want to add anything?
You would know
I
being
mean, I
Pretty
think
Boy
it's
Floyd.
true,
You
but
would know.
it's kind of like, so what?
I'm not
It's
Pretty
more
Boy
of a
Floyd.
passive life kind of thing.
Not sure where you getting that bullshit from.
I'm
And
just
it's not
fucking
necessarily a
with
bad
you.
thing. That's the thing. it is true. You'll
Shit,
see
I gotta deal
wherever
with.
you go, women will get more attention because they look better. But is that bad of a thing? I don't think so. It is the way it is.
Just is.
It's just the way it is.
All right, let's bring in our disagreeers.
We don't want to hear this shit.
I always joke about when women don't get out of tickets. Be like, yeah, we ain't getting out that shit.
I feel like this is perfect for me. So
Here's your
I
ticket
am a
right
top,
here.
top OnlyFans
Bitch.
creator, and I'm also a lawyer, which is a very weird,
You're the perfect person to
Yeah, I'm
respond.
perfect person to talk about this. And yeah,
No,
I
you're not, Jasmine.
I have a lot of, a lot of money from doing OnlyFans, but I was always also I've never been more vilified either for
Can you
using
pause
my
for 1
sexual
second?
capital and
All you people out there, I want you to ask yourself, why would a pretty young lady like that, who found the time in her life to become a lawyer, decide to turn to OnlyFans?
And she's making it seem like she's vilified, right? And I'm like,
She is, but she loves
hold
it.
up, hold up. All I'm saying is that guys that be looking at the joke, right? They ain't trying to take you home to mommy. Like I said, they ain't trying to take you home to mommy. They looking, they enjoying it, blah, blah, blah. And they be like, all right,
And listen,
I'm not bringing you home to introduce you as my girl. It ain't happening.
and let's take this a step further.
Basketball players are starting to fuck up because they doing that shit.
Yeah, basketball players are stupid because they're
dumbasses,
going for
yo.
video vixens. These motherfuckers make $20,000 a year on Instagram, and these motherfuckers giving them a come up.
Right.
But listen, this motherfucker here, she's a smart girl.
Okay.
And she knows she's good looking, so she's in touch with herself.
Okay.
But she chose the easier route. She chose the easier route.
Because if you think about it, when you hear about OnlyFans, right? What are they doing?
They're just showing themselves
They
online.
get naked, right?
For niggas
come
like-
on now. They get
niggas-
naked.
People
they
that want to see it.
they might be baking some cookies, naked, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? They doing
Yeah,
they doing
nurse's
shit.
maid
Right.
outfit, or
You know,
whatever.
some of-
Something jacked up on the back of their ass
Yeah.
that they fucking surgically repaired ass.
And but the way but the way we talking about them right now is exactly what she's talking about. As far as they villain, they talk down at us and all. I be like,
Listen to her.
look at what you doing.
Now,
though.
listen to her. She victimizes herself in a small way, right?
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, look at her gear. She wears form-fitted clothes because she knows who she is. She knows she's going to get the attention. She knows that we're looking at her. Not only us, many other people are looking at her. So she's juggling the fence, even though she's stating the case.
This whole thing right here, basically, she's trying to go ahead and get more followers.
Let me say this.
I mean, I'm just
Let me say
saying,
this.
that's-
Look at her. Look at her. She's a good-looking girl. She's gonna get her followers. She's gonna get, if she wants to really
She
get
wants
more
more.
followers, she's got to get a little bit more reckless. But the thing is, she's staging her argument for this girl in the red.
Would you
more
pay-
so?
would you pay
more
for her?
so than for herself?
Would you pay to see an OnlyFans for the
I wouldn't pay
lady
for
in the
no
red?
OnlyFans because I was looking on this shit and imagine the rest.
Damn, bro.
I'm just gonna be honest with you, bro.
Tag, bro. Oh look, you're gone too far, man. You're gone too far. Oh, you're gone too far, all right? I don't know if it's the alcohol. You're going too far. Shoot.
The honesty comes out with the alcohol.
Yo, okay. Anyway, let's go in ahead. Let's hear what else we got. What else is going on with that?
No,
let's
okay,
hear.
go ahead. I just want you to just hit on what you think is coming, and then go.
You want me to what?
Hit on what you think she's about to talk about, and then go.
I seen it before. What are you talking about?
You did?
Yeah. Why am I?
Oh, well, fuck it. Play it.
Yo,
whereas when I was
you're gone too far, man.
I was always hated. I was always just looked at because I had like a more curvy body and everything. So I do think women can capitalize off of their sexual power, but I also think they are also demonized and vilified. And even when they aren't trying to capitalize off of it, people still see them as just that.
Time out. Ray, please pause for a hot second. She went to OnlyFans because she was a fucking fine-ass lawyer. And she know that even though she was a lawyer, she might not be so great as a lawyer. She might even be great. She got a great body. Let me just tell you.
She's sitting in the seat, man.
You can just tell, motherfucker. Your radar been beeping the whole time. Anyway.
You can tell me about my radar. Shit.
Listen, so one thing they do with OnlyFans, especially with really good-looking women, they receive so much hate from hater-ass women that it fucking knocks down their integrity.
Is that what she's talking about?
Listen. So what happens is
she saying that?
No. I'm trying to get to a point. What happens with the integrity? What happens with all that hate? It forces people to look at her and not pay. You know, meaning they want to see it, but now that they got 100 people, because social media is a powerful, powerful tool, and motherfuckers don't have their own mind. They say, all these motherfuckers hating on her. She fine as fuck, but I gotta hate on her too. I'm being for real. That's how that shit works. And this girl, under any circumstances, you can take her and her OnlyFans and put it in front of 9 out of 10 guys. And 9 out of 10 guys would be like, oh, damn, I'll tear that ass up. For real. But you know how social media works. So she's got scorned by social media. And that's why you hear what she's about to say. Let it go.
Yo, stop trying to be the prophet. Let her say what she's going to say.
Time out. One more time.
Before you start talking about...
How are you dismissing my good-ass shit? I'm telling some fucking truth here, and you dismissing it like it's a one-off.
Motherfucker's trying to be the prophet.
Go.
He's trying to tell you shit before it happened.
No, I wasn't telling you. I'm just trying to make you understand that where her scorn statements are coming from.
Maybe they should hear the scorn statement first.
No. Maybe you should understand the context of why we got here. You fucking belligerent ass.
Just to understand why.
Belligerent.
Just to understand why.
How did your wife marry you?
See, now you try to get personal. Now you try to get personal. You see how it is? You see how you try to get personal just now? Even though I love him like my brother, you know what I'm saying? Brothers got to get cracked in the eye every now and then too, you know.
Make sure you scroll that out. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. Cause she watches.
She watching. She watching. She be like, yo, why you ain't fuck CJ up when he said that shit? You supposed to one side his ass real quick. I'm talking about the bottom of his head was supposed to touch the top of his back when he made that comment.
I didn't mean it like that. But let's go. Let's go. I don't want no problems.
There's I feel like a lot of men like to Google at women, like to see them, objectify them, but they don't see them as human. So I don't know, so women might capitalize off of that, but I don't necessarily see that as like net positive for them if they're being vilified for doing something that obviously has a market for it. I just think it's very hypocritical.
Probably hasn't had a girlfriend since he was 13.
Because there are men that literally watched his content that subscribe to these people, and then they demonize the same people they're giving money to.
24/7.
Yeah, this is a man's
It's
problem,
not a matter of
woman's
demonizing. It's
problem.
basically
Men need to
saying,
control
yo,
themselves.
this is what you do, and I'm going to call it for what it is.
Who gave it to
I'm not
us? It's
praising your
us. We're not
ass.
the ones that are just deciding, I'm going to be powerful
Because you take your clothes off in
a
order
body.
to, for
That's not what's happening. It's
for a
men
show,
that
for
never
OnlyFans.
learned how to deal with their emotions and their feelings and their urges.
Yeah,
that wasn't
she's
taught to
on
them.
one.
So
She's on one,
they don't know
Ray.
how to do that. So
Yo,
now
she
they
bitter,
give
yo.
women all this sexual capital and then also want to vilify us for it and make us the bad guy for it. But
We not talking about you.
the one
Don't
that's
say
noticing
us.
The pretty girls. You're the one that's giving.
You're
us-
not the
I didn't
one
ask-
doing it.
It's funny because when I'll go with my boyfriend, sometimes I'll go places and I get 5 chicken tenders instead of 4, or we go.
Buy you a drink or
Yeah,
something,
I get 2
you're
drinks, and
greedy.
I come home and I'm like, look what I got, and he's like, that never happens to me, and I'm like, oh, silly. I'm not asking for
I guess
it.
a follow-up though that what they might ask, or that I'm curious about, is do you think there's like that's just a sort of natural pattern or order to how men and women operate, or do you feel like that's conditioned?
I think it's conditioned because it is so refreshing and welcome and amazing when I meet a man who does not treat me that way. They do not treat me like a sexual object. They treat me like a person. They talk to me like a person. They give me what I paid for. I get my item and I leave. And there's no weird like, did I owe him anything? Did he?
Can I respond to that?
Did you talk
In my
too
personal
much?
experience, men only talk to women they want to sleep with.
Yeah.
In my personal experience, women have to be attractive on top of their job. You can't just be a lawyer. You have to be an attractive lawyer. You can't just be a dentist. You have to be an attractive
Best thing you ever said,
I
my
think
brother.
when men talk about sexual capital in women, it's because they literally ignore every other woman in that area.
There's like this concept of like men get put in the friend zone, women get put in the zone.
So do you think that, some of what I heard is it is what it is. Men are attracted to beautiful women. So there's kind of a natural order argument.
Bottom
This
line.
is just the way we behave, whether it's biologically. Or do you feel that it's conditioned?
I do think it's conditioned.
Can I respond to that? I think it's a little both. I do think that is a little bit of the natural order of things, but like for instance, I think my only really interaction with these man spaces or the manosphere spaces are these like red pill podcasts that I've gone on a million times, like Fresh and Fit, whatever, where they bring on women like me that are making all this, oh, you're on OnlyFans. They bring in all these sex workers and then they tell us we're low value, nobody will ever love us, we're for the streets, and they do all of that. And then my comments get flooded with that. That's conditioned.
And then
That is conditioned.
It's true, but it comes with OnlyFans.
It does,
You do not like
100%,
them.
yeah.
You do not like them. They are trash. They're garbage. They're from South Florida,
No,
unfortunately.
no.
I don't like
Pro
them.
does.
Some of their shit is good.
I don't have a
OnlyFans
problem with them.
women go on the
They hurt
whatever
us. Honestly, they don't
podcast.
hurt us.
Yeah, that's a good
You don't
question,
like 'em because
the
they
same
speak
men, their
against
audience that hates us,
feminists.
they're also making me a shit ton of money.
Exactly. Like you're pretty much
Facts.
a prop for them to make more money
Exactly.
because they'll have you on the podcast and you'll be like the eye candy, but they don't actually care about your opinions. They're just using you as a prop to put down.
Yeah.
And so that could feed into their audience.
You need to be
People don't
sitting on the
respect
other
sex
side, you
workers
bitch
because
ass.
It's easy to take your clothes off. That's why they don't respect them.
It's okay easy to open
It's
your mouth.
people,
and-
people respect things that are hard.
What she say?
And, sex work, OnlyFans, that's not
And
hard.
why is it that people
What'd
still
she say?
respect like Leonardo DiCaprio sleeping with small? It's really easy for him
Because
to do that.
Leo
Nobody-
became an
For him sleeping
actor.
with who?
with
Younger
when
women.
extremely rich and wealthy,
I
successful
don't think that's
men.
common.
Wait,
I
when
think more men
extremely
would
rich,
do it.
successful,
Pause
healthy,
for a
and
second,
good-looking
Ray.
men.
How hard is it to become an actor?
Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, exactly. Now,
Leave it
really-
on pause for
I-
a second
I-
because
leave
I
it on
gotta
pause.
drain
Leave-
this fucking fire hose.
so can we get back into this now? Yo, what I disagree with is, I mean, she's trying to be pleasant about it, and she's trying to say like, yo, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. It's hard to do what he do. You know what I'm saying? She's being polite about it, right? Because he made a point talking about, yo, don't nobody say shit about Leonardo DiCaprio and a 20-whatever-year-old chick that he dealing with. And I'm like, yo, stop making it seem like he forcing the 21-year-old chick or the 20-something-year-old chick to be with him. Is that your shit, yo? This nigga, I swear, yo. This is what I'm talking about, yo. Look at him. Look at him.
I turned it off. I'm sorry.
Turned it off. Oh, you apologize? Don't apologize to me. Apologize to the people. The people that's taking the time out of their day to listen to what we got to say. Go ahead and apologize to them. I know your bitch ass ain't gonna do it.
Apologize to who? The people? I'm sorry, people. My daughter's They think they have free reign to me 24/7. I'm sorry.
They do. But you could put it on vibrate. My shit on vibrate. You know what I'm saying?
I put 2 on vibrate.
Two.
The other one, I didn't even
And the
think
one
that
that's not on vibrate happens to ring. Wow.
She probably called the other 2.
Wow. This motherfucker, I tell you.
They're persistent.
You don't understand. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
I'm going to need you to focus.
Back to what I was saying when it came down to old girl, and when she's saying she's being polite, talking about Leonardo DiCaprio and the things that he do. People respect hard. They respect how hard men work and the things that they do and the accomplishments that they make. These guys right here, these 2 simp motherfuckers is sitting there trying to pull a motherfucker down, talking about making it seem like it's his fault that the 20-something-year-old girl is with him. No, he just chose her. He had plenty to choose. Trust me when I tell you, unlike you cats, he got plenty to choose from, and he chose that girl. But y'all don't mention the girl at all. You don't say nothing about her. Just like same way with that one chick. Yeah, you slept to the top. You don't say nothing about the chick that actually slept to the top. You know what I'm saying? You try to put everything on the man, and that's one of the things I have a problem with these feminist group people, man. I say y'all try to put everything that somebody does
on the man.
On the man. You know what I'm saying? And it don't make no sense to me sometimes. You know? It's wild to me. Like, it's wild. Go ahead, bro.
I agree with you, man. It's not much I have to add to that, except that I don't know, man. I don't know how to take it and twist it to where it works properly.
Chick told me one time, if a dude go out on this girl, it's the man's fault. Word?
Always.
Okay.
They always say that.
Right. I said, so what happens when she do it? Oh, it's still a man's fault. Oh, why is it the man's fault? Because he didn't do something that he was supposed to do in order for her to go out somewhere and get it somewhere else, right?
That's my point exactly. That type of thinking.
And then
I said,
and this was years ago. I said, so let me ask you something. If you need money, what you gonna do? And she was like, well, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I said, would you rob a bank? And she's like, I'm not robbing no bank. And I said, why not? That's where the money's at. She's like, nah, I'm not robbing a bank because I wouldn't do that.
You'll get in trouble.
I said, oh, because it's not in you.
You want to rob a dude.
Hold up. I said, oh, because it's not in you to rob a bank. That's just the line you ain't gonna cross. It's not in you to rob a bank.
But you'll rob a dude.
Hold up. But I said that if you go on ahead and you decide you want to sleep with this cat, don't say it on a man, because if it ain't in you to do what you don't want to do, you're not going to do it. So if you do it, that means it's in you to do it. So miss me with all the bullshit about it's always the man's fault whenever it come down to you making decisions about what you want to do. Right. That's the bullshit. All right, I'm done. I'm done ranting.
Well, my thing is...
Let's get back to the show.
Go ahead.
So with a lot of women, even though it's easy for them to do so, they're not looked down on the same way that, like, for example, a sex worker may be using her body. It's also important to note that, like, this whole idea of, like, sex workers and OnlyFans girls, like, making a ton of money is extremely new. Who owns, like, 99% of the actual porn industry in the production studios? It's men. Men historically and even today still are the ultimate benefactors of women's sexuality.
And men
what is your point
about porn and all this stuff when women started making their own money on OnlyFans? Men did not complain about porn before the proliferation of OnlyFans. These podcasts did not exist back then.
Men still don't complain
about it. Women complain about it.
Was it difficult for Leonardo DiCaprio to become rich and successful? Is that a difficult thing to do?
In his case, maybe, but for a lot of men, not necessarily.
To be a world-renowned.
Do you think it?
This is where she
gets. Just answer yes or no. Is that hard to do?
I don't know.
That's a vague-ass question.
I don't know.
What are you talking about as a vague-ass question?
There ain't no
vague
question.
It's hard to do, and that's why people respect it.
Do you think
being a sex worker is easy to do? So
right. You don't go through no interviews for that shit.
People do easy things.
She is so cool with her shit too, right?
Also don't make a lot of money. For the record, most OnlyFans girls do not make a lot of money.
They don't, and they're not respected either.
Are men who were born into wealth and naturally good looking, when they sleep with a lot of women, are they demonized for that and called sluts?
No.
No. So it doesn't matter whether or not it was difficult for them to get to a high status or if they were just born into it.
But I would
Being a
say-
man doesn't preclude
But they're
you
not
to that type of
demonized. They're not
discrimination.
demonized, but it's generally difficult for men to be selected by a lot of women, and the dating
Facts.
app stats will back that
Hit
up.
'em.
That's not
So
my
again,
question.
I know you're asking about demonization, but the original question was, why does Leonardo DiCaprio celebrated? It's because it is hard. Being a sex worker is easy.
You just said he's celebrated because it's hard, but you just admitted
People
earlier.
celebrate
You
hard
just
things.
also admitted earlier that that a guy who is successful and born into wealth and born into a naturally good-looking body is also celebrated for sleeping a lot
That's
of women.
not really
so
that.
It's
that's
not. So it's not
well,
actually contingent on whether or not it's hard.
I'll make a caveat. I would say even men still need to learn to be attractive to women, even if they're born into wealth and naturally good looking.
Women also need to learn how to be attracted to men.
That's fine. That's
Are you calling us just dumb dogs or something?
But some of the top OnlyFans creators aren't attractive at all.
Can I ask Pearl a
So
question?
it's
That's
pretty.
subjective. That's subjective.
Clearly not.
I think Trisha
We've got a
Paytas.
question.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You say being a sex worker is easy, but look at I know you love statistics. How come most OnlyFans women don't earn a living off
Because
of that?
they
How come
don't.
they don't make a lot
Because
of money?
they don't care about money. They like attention. And that was the big thing when I
are you basing
interviewed
that
a bunch off of interviewing a bunch of OnlyFans models, and they'll tell you that. A lot of them do. They say, I just enjoy taking off my clothes on camera.
Well, let's hear from somebody who has experience. Do you want to respond to that?
Right.
That's absolutely not true. I mean, just to use my
Does she
anecdote,
take her
like,
clothes
I didn't
off?
have social
Does she
media
take her
before I
clothes
started
off for the
on. I
camera?
had Instagram. I do not care about attention. I just wanted to make a lot of money, which is why people do OnlyFans. Why would they want to get attention? A lot of it's negative too. A lot of people hate you. A lot of people think no one's going to marry you. Blah blah blah. I don't believe those things, but I'm also able to advocate for. I'm a lawyer, so I'm more gifted in being able to combat that rhetoric. These girls are not, and a lot of these girls that are going into this, I'm the exception. They don't have other options. They're not super educated. They don't have other avenues to try to make a living.
must
and then
not make a lot of money being a
when
lawyer.
You say it's easy, it's not easy
That was
to make
my
a ton of
point.
money on OnlyFans. I had to do a ton of marketing. I had no social media following ahead of it. You could say, okay, well, you look a certain way or whatever, but a lot of the women that enter this, if it was so easy, they wouldn't be not making money.
Well, I would disagree that
She a
there's no
lawyer?
other option. You guys can get jobs just like the men.
She's a-
And number two, I look at
Yo,
what people
she
say
wants
versus
attention.
what they
She
do. You might
lit
say
her
that you
up
didn't
with
care
that
about
one
attention,
statement.
but I look at the way you behave and dress, and it would indicate otherwise.
What counts as a real
Right.
job to you, Pearl?
And
Did
you're
you
more
hear that?
scantily clad.
Okay.
So why?
Ray,
What are you
please
looking for?
rewind that. That is the most important statement for this whole topic.
Are you
Listen
blah,
to
blah, blah. I
her
don't believe
carefully.
Those things, but I'm also able to advocate for. I'm a lawyer, so I'm more gifted in being able to combat that rhetoric. These girls are not, and a lot of these girls that are going into this, I'm the exception. They don't have other options. They're not super educated. They don't have other avenues to try to make a living. And then a lot of them, when they do go in this, when you say it's easy, it's not easy to make a ton of money on OnlyFans. I had to do a ton of marketing. I had no social media following ahead of it. You could say, okay, well, you look a certain way or whatever, but a lot of the women that enter this, if it was so easy, they wouldn't be not making money.
Well, I would disagree that there's no other option. You guys can get jobs just like the men. And number two, I look at what people say versus what they do. You might say that you didn't care about attention, but I look at the way you behave and dress, and it would indicate otherwise.
What counts as a real job to you, Pearl?
Shut it down in
Hold
one
on, hold
little
on, hold
sentence.
on.
Why? What are you looking for? Attention?
See, she just said that she was scantily dressed.
Let's see that coming.
Let's not do personal attacks. It's not really going to work out for us.
She
Let's
came
move on.
back at her,
There's
but
a new-
it wasn't the same.
Yeah, but still.
That girl is not built like her.
Yo, either way you look at it, right? And this is just me, and I'm just going off of, I don't know that lady, I don't know the other lady, right?
You saw their
I'm just
bodies.
going off of
You
my,
saw
no,
their
I
bodies.
saw them sit down in
You saw their
the chairs.
bodies. Come on,
The
man.
fuck that got
You
to
saw
do with
their bodies.
anything?
That has
What are you
everything.
talking about?
One
I'm
has a great body,
Look,
and one is tall and slim.
Look, you interrupted me for that bullshit. All I'm
Because
saying
it's-
is, yo,
it's
look,
context.
look,
It's
look.
important.
Okay, context. Let me speak on it, right? Okay, if she's a lawyer, right? Does she not make money? Does she not make money as a lawyer?
Apparently not, because she's OnlyFans.
Then that means
too.
she must suck. She must suck as a lawyer, right?
That's one way you can look at
Whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa!
Or she needs easy money.
Nope. She said that she make a lot of money
On
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
She makes a lot of money
She's
on
got
OnlyFans,
a
right?
lot of body.
Okay, all right. I see you emphasizing the physical side of this thing, but we talking about the mentality of it all right
Fuck
now,
the
right?
mentality.
See, that's
because it doesn't matter
See, that's
when they're
why-
trying to make money.
See, this is what happens when you talk to that motherfucker that do Geico commercials. That's what happens. She,
Might have caved
yo,
in,
yeah, exactly. So here it is, right? If she's a lawyer, all right, and she never said that she was bad at her job, but she does an OnlyFans, and the other girl said,
there you go,
hey,
Jasmine Jatar, that's her name.
and the other girl,
look,
okay,
look,
all right, I'm seeing, all right, look what? You act like you're proving a point.
This motherfucker got lungs bigger than yours, and she's only 5'2".
She should have. She's a fucking woman. She should have lungs bigger than mine. What are you talking about?
5'2". You 6'2".
Look, either way you look at it,
can run across the nation and across the water.
You see what I'm saying? Fucking Geico, so easy. A caveman can do it. This motherfucker. So what I'm saying?
Look at her.
All right, okay, cool. Why is she doing it? This is what I'm talking about, the mental side of it. Why is she doing it?
Why was she?
No.
Maybe she gets more money doing that. Look at her body.
Explain
she gets
to me.
more money doing that
Okay.
than she does mitigating.
Okay,
Maybe it doesn't mean she's not good at mitigating.
Hold up.
It just means she's better at
that means she sucked.
That just means she's better at that.
No.
She's better at that.
How about old girl is right? She want more attention.
Yeah, well, she was. That's my whole point. That's what I was.
No, you ain't said shit.
That's what I was talking about the whole time.
All you've been doing is what? Look, yo. That's what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying there?
That's what you got from that.
Why you take your headset off?
Because
why you take your headset?
I can't believe that's all you got from that.
That's what you were saying.
Hyping her up for like the last 20 minutes to get to that point when she tells her that based on the way you dressed, you're looking for attention.
Right, exactly.
This is what I wanted you to hear.
So we agree.
I set that up.
So we agree.
Huh?
So we agree.
And you missed that shit.
I did not miss it.
Every time I throw you an alley-oop, your motherfucking ass missed the layup.
What the fuck are you, Chris Paul now? What the fuck you fuck you throw me alley-oops for and whatnot? If you making a point, make the point.
Listen, she's fine as shit.
She's
and
exploiting.
It doesn't mean that she's not a good lawyer.
Okay.
She probably is just better at that.
Well, see, that's my point. My
and
point
think about
is
this.
Okay.
And think about this.
All right, I'm not gonna get my point out.
As a lawyer, yes, you are. Right after this.
Right.
As a lawyer, would you want a girl who just is an ordinary nobody?
I want a lawyer that's gonna win me my fucking case, man. That's what I want. I don't give a fuck what she look like.
Bitch ain't
as long as she
your case.
As long you just asked me, did I want a lawyer?
If somebody says to you,
yo, did he not just ask me if I want a lawyer? If I want a lawyer, I want a lawyer that's gonna win me my case. That's what I want.
Listen to let me complete the question. If you had a choice to see a person as an OnlyFan and a lawyer as an OnlyFan, and they're both equally as fine, which one would you look at first? Answer the motherfucker truthfully.
Well, I'm trying to understand the question. You said if I see a lawyer,
if you had the
and
chance,
I see an OnlyFan,
somebody said
they
goes
both,
to an OnlyFan,
but they both look the same.
They're equally as fine.
Both of them are equally as fine.
But
Okay.
one is a lawyer and one is not. Which one would you look at first?
I don't even know.
That's some bullshit.
I don't even know
That's some bullshit.
What are you talking
Which one
about?
you gonna look at
if
first?
if they look the same, you
they
said
look
one's a lawyer
equally as
and one's
fine.
an only,
and
they're equally as fine, right? One's
Which
a
one
lawyer.
you gonna look at first?
You just said one's a lawyer.
What would you be intrigued at looking at first?
One's a lawyer.
And one
is an only fan, right?
Just straight only fan.
Okay, but they're equally as pretty. That's what you said, right?
Exactly.
Then why would you ask me which one would I look at first?
What would intrigue you?
Honestly, if they both are equal, I'm looking at my wife. I'm going in my phone and look at my wife pictures. That's what I'm gonna do.
Politically correct.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at my wife pictures in my phone. That's what I'm gonna look. Because I don't know what the fuck you talking about over there. You over there wilding on some shit that I don't know what the hell you saying. Talking about they equally the same. You don't know neither one of them motherfuckers.
Well,
you wouldn't even know if one was a lawyer or not. You just know that they're equally the same.
The intrigue.
And you go, which one would you look at?
Intrigue.
The wild
The
shit.
intrigue.
Yo, the
'Cause
shit
you
I gotta
wanna-
go
you
through.
wanna see-
I love my brother.
You
I love my
wanna-
brother.
you-
Lord.
you wanna
Lord, you know,
see-
every now and then he need one. Every now and then he need one.
How easy is
Huh?
it for you to look at an ordinary girl on OnlyFans?
I don't look at OnlyFans.
Good. But if you did,
I don't even know.
If you did, with all the fucking caveats that come with that, if you did,
If I did, if I looked at
you did,
okay, if I looked at an OnlyFans,
90% of the people on OnlyFans are ordinary girls. You got a chance to look at a OnlyFans lawyer.
how would you know that?
Huh?
How would
Because
you
everything
know
is
that?
in the description.
So you looking at a description first, and then you look
Absolutely.
at
You
the.
can't help but to look at the description.
Okay,
first.
well I didn't know that.
That's good. That saves you right now. But that's some bullshit. I'm gonna let y'all know.
I didn't know that.
No, I'm just
I
bullshit.
I don't, you know,
No,
I
but
don't
for
understand
real.
how you would know the difference between whoever.
No, for real. 9 out of 10 people that you see on OnlyFans are people that are just trying to make money. A lawyer is not an anomaly on OnlyFans. So naturally, you're gonna try to see what the lawyer's about, and you want to figure out why the fuck is she on OnlyFans.
Well, that isn't that what I was saying? Is that
No.
I was saying that if you're intrigued to find out why a lawyer is
on
got an OnlyFans page, right?
That's right.
You're intrigued.
Normally.
That's what I said. I said, why is she even doing that?
I don't remember
if
you
she a good, she must suck as a lawyer in order for her to have a page, an OnlyFans page, right?
Not necessarily.
But you was arguing the fact. Look at
Not
her. Look at her. Look
necessarily.
at her. But now you want to tell me that I would look at her because she's a lawyer.
Well, listen. Say she's making millions of dollars as a
What
lawyer.
is you saying, B?
If she making millions of dollars as a lawyer, and she just
Why would
decides
she
to
need
get
a
an
pay?
OnlyFans.
That means she want
It doesn't
attention.
necessarily, yeah.
That means she want attention,
or
right?
money.
That's what,
Or money.
okay. She need more money.
Not
If she's- if
necessarily.
she's a
It
suc-
might not even be a need.
She's a gambler. Then she got gambling debt.
She just want
or
money.
some shit like that.
But
She need more money than what she making
Whatever
as a
the
successful
case-
lawyer.
Whatever the case, my question is, you would look at the lawyer. My question leads to, you would look at the lawyer first because she's not the normal person that would be on OnlyFans.
You
This
know
is
what?
the point
I
I
think
was trying to
okay.
get you
I think
to.
you would have to be in that world or whatever in order for you to say that I know that this is this type of chick that's doing an OnlyFans, and I know that this chick right here is not normally a OnlyFans type of person because she's a
Get it all
lawyer.
out. Get it all out.
I'm just saying, you make it
leaving
sound
some
like the
shit out.
average dude would get on there and be like this, oh, yo, she's a lawyer. I got to go see her first because
You said it for me. I don't even have to say it no more because that's exactly what the fuck they would do.
I'm not agreeing.
That's exactly what the fuck they would do.
I'm not agreeing to
Why
that
is
shit.
a lawyer
I'm not-
on OnlyFans?
I'm not agreeing to that shit. That's what I'm talking about. Why you slamming your headset down and like
Because
sustain
a
and,
lawyer
you know, and all
wants
that.
a
And
person
I'm not
wants
sa-
to see
I'm not saying
why
that.
is a lawyer
I don't
on
agree with it.
OnlyFans. 1, 2, if she thinks
not
she can
agreeing.
get on OnlyFans, she gotta be bad as motherfucking hell.
Oh, so that's your way of thinking. She got to be
no,
bad
that's
as shit.
normal way of thinking.
What do you mean normal way of thinking?
Why does a lawyer think she can fucking get on OnlyFans?
Why would she? Unless she want more money or she want more attention. She suck as a lawyer or she's a successful lawyer and she just wants attention.
And how about
So
this
what are
one
the
thing
two?
you left out?
Or what's the other one?
Fine as hell. She's fine as fucking hell.
Well, hence the reason why she wants
Put
more
that back
attention.
in there.
Hence the reason why she wants more attention. Because she's fine as hell.
That's two different things.
'Cause she
bruh.
wants more attention.
Two different things. She wants
Oh,
money.
I'm fine as
She
shit.
wants
So
money.
therefore, I need to go expose myself on my OnlyFans. Or did somebody say, yo, you know you can make some money because you fine as hell? Be like, nah, I'm a successful lawyer. First of all,
Twist it up any way you want.
hold up, first of all, I'm dealing with my clients. You know what I'm saying? Her clients that she have, like, they must be like, the motherfuckers ain't high clientele. Cause they gonna be like this. Yo, I ain't gonna have no fucking lawyer that's got a OnlyFans page. And it'll be like, yo, are you winning your fucking cases? Are you winning your cases? Matter of fact, why you busy looking? Because you said you was able to see the profile.
Maybe she's not practicing law anymore.
Oh, now we gonna go on that what if. What if the fucking earth was as flat as this fucking table? We fall off right now.
Because you hitting with a what if. A what if deserves a what if.
I'm asking you because you got all the answers as to why she's doing it. Why don't we look her up? Why don't we look her up and see what her success rate is as a lawyer? Why don't we see that? And then maybe we could understand a little bit more why she's doing her OnlyFans page, right?
I honestly don't give a fuck about Mrs. Jafar's success rate.
You don't give a fuck, huh? What is this right here? Digital creator, 304 lawyer. 304.
233K followers. On her way to $1 million.
So you don't care nothing about her?
I don't give a
fuck. You don't give a damn.
I don't want to get that close to her.
Okay, maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Or maybe I'm looking at it totally different. Would you choose her as a lawyer?
No. Fuck no. You asked, right?
Hold on. You advocating the fuck out of this
that.
Yo.
You could ask her that.
Yo, you advocating the fuck out of this chick.
That's
and
right.
You trying to tell me
because everybody wants to see
you ain't gonna
who's
choose
the lawyer on OnlyFans
you ain't gonna
dressing down. No.
So you ain't gonna choose her.
Fuck no.
As
I'll
a
get
lawyer?
my case mitigated by somebody else.
Oh, so because we back to how many cases do she win, right?
I don't give a fuck about her cases. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Yo, what kind of lawyer you want anyway? Huh? What kind of lawyer would you want?
A lawyer
anyway?
I pick that I done some research on.
And
if she's on OnlyFans, she cannot represent me.
That win cases, right?
That win cases?
Okay, that's not on OnlyFans, right?
No. If she,
Okay.
you know, if something, wait, let me clear that up.
Hold on, don't be
If
mad.
something,
Don't be mad because
I
I sustained your ass.
No,
Sustained.
Ain't no sustain. Ain't no sustain. If I got something in front of me that says this bitch won every case she's ever taken, and she's still on OnlyFans, yes, she can be my lawyer.
Yeah, but your first option is Your first option is how many cases has she won?
That's if
how many cases has she won?
Was a spliff, we all be high. I'm not trying to hear that.
I don't even know why you on that bullshit right now. You on that bullshit because you know damn well if her case file was like, yo, damn, this chick win every fucking case, and we talking about criminal or whatever it is that she do, whatever she specialize in, and she win every case, that's the only reason why you picking her as a lawyer.
And that's all the reason I need. Sustained.
That ain't sustained. That ain't sustained. You agree with what the fuck I said. But you sitting over here telling me because she a fucking lawyer, that's the reason why you gonna go to her only page first.
This motherfucker is not going down without a fight.
I'm just saying, you ain't gonna hit me with that bullshit and then turn around and make it seem like it's yo, let me just tell you, what we used to call that, the gas face? Yo, ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world, yo. Shit. All right.
Woo!
All right, yo. Anyway, as you can see, that this topic was a little
volatile.
Was a little heated because there was definitely a difference in opinion when it came down, especially to the one person that was on the panel.
There's reality and fantasy.
Fucking shit. So, yo, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, hey, yo, if you agree, or is this something that we said that you feel like, you know what, that cat got a point there as far as what we was talking about, go ahead and drop that shit in the comments, man. Trust me, I cannot wait to hear what y'all got to say.
Be transparent. Say what you mean. Mean what you say.
That's what they do when they comment, right? They say their opinion as far as how they feel about
Just
it. Just
put it in there. Let's talk about it.
He trying to move you along. He trying to move you along. But anyway, yo,
he's attacking me. I'm talking about the topic.
This is another episode. Like I said, just go ahead and if it's your first time, please subscribe. Please go ahead and subscribe and whatnot and let us know. That way you can pick up and get notifications for when we do another pod show and all that. But please go ahead and put what you got to say in the comments. This is another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Game.
The Game.